everybody! How we doing? You have stumbled, perhaps unwittingly, into the Brentalfloss Q&A panel, and so basically I'm going to answer your questions, assuming that you're asking them, and maybe show you some stuff nobody's seen before. Right now, what you'll see on the screen is just a fairly boring view of my sound editing program. If you were there at my show, I did a song called Just One Duck, that I literally I don't have it with me. I have this little USB, like tiny little keyboard, and on the Greyhound here, I was like, I gotta finish the strings lines, I gotta finish the guitar. So I'm sitting there like looking like the coolest Tyrannosaurus Rex in the Greyhound bus, like, this guy was like, you a producer? And I'm like, no man, I'm not. I wish you would just not talk to me. Now we're like talking while I'm doing it. Anyway, but this may come in handy later, but we'll find that out. For now, if you have questions, I have answers. And one little disclaimer, just because as I increasingly see audiences of young people, I just want to make sure that every parent here knows I do get a little PG-13 and up sometimes. So if that's really bad, go away. All right, front row, hit me.
Has anyone ever looked into the back of your head and seen the future?
Has anyone ever looked in the back of my head and seen the future? Well, you know, when I first started losing my hair, I feel like everyone who looked in the back of my head saw the future. Good question. Chef guy with no hat. You've lost your power.
No, I was going to say, you've gotten a bit of an interest in Mega Man. Have you heard about, before I told you, that Mega Man was going to appear in Smash
Brothers? Tweeted it? Yep. Yep. Do you have interest in me is the question. This is always somewhat disappointing for really hardcore Mega Man fans to hear, but I am a Mega Man fan, but not a like hot white core of magma Mega Man fan. You know what I'm saying? I'm not one of those people that like petitioned for Mega Man Legends 3 to happen.
Yeah,
you know
I'm
what I'm saying?
a classic Mega Man fan.
Cool. At your Q&A, I'll ask you more about that. So, I'm just messing with you, man. I appreciate you having a good sense of humor, as was shown at the live show. But yeah, Smash Brothers, it's like, because I am not myself like I don't personally like light up and feel endorphins at the sight of Mega Man, and I know some people do. Like the way that if somebody said, by the way, we're putting Chrono in this game, I'd be like, what? Like I would have hair and then it would become a yellow flame, you know what I'm saying? I would like somehow levitate off the ground. With Mega Man, with the Smash Brothers thing, I'm just really excited for the people who are themselves kind of disenfranchised Mega Man fans.
You know what I think? I just think that Mega Man's model in that game is better than his in Mega Man Powered Up, because it was chibi-like.
Yes, agreed. The end. All right, thanks for the question. Now, are you dressed as, what's his name?
Goku. Pepper from
Goku. Yeah, it's same line, but the front guy. It's okay. Nothing but love. We're cooking up something good here, you and me, chef guy. I went to my first anime convention ever as Krillin, who's similarly, well, I don't really watch anime, and I felt like a huge poser at an anime convention, so I was like, I'm going to meet them halfway. I'm a bald guy, I'm going to I actually got a real life prison inmate outfit, because where else are you going to find an orange jumpsuit that color? Just cut it up and, put the dots on my head. Anyway, you have a question on that?
Yeah. You might have asked it before, but why haven't you done a Sonic song before?
Why haven't I done a Sonic song?
Yeah. Like Green Hill Zone.
I haven't felt like it. I really like Casino Night. I really like bum 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 bum.
Eggman's theme.
What?
Robotnik's theme.
Sure.
I'm a really big Sonic fan.
I actually had a project for a while that just went away. It was going to be a mini rock opera called Nintendo Time Machine, and I was going to have a new character created in kind of like a time warp ripping of space-time called Robotnik Koopa. And his theme was going to be a musical mashup of da-da-da-da and ba-bum-bum-ba-bum-bum-ba-da-ba-ba. So it's going to be like somehow both at the same time. Great story, Grandpa. The point is, Sonic just doesn't really do it for me. And the music, say what?
Too fast.
No. But funny joke, girl. Too fast. No. Good one. But yeah, I just, you know, like, it also has to do with the actual qualities of a lot of the music. That is not what I wanted to open up. For instance, like, Spring Yard Zone. What? Play the song? So like, this is really a cool and chill song, for instance, but it's got kind of a jazzy, fusion-y kind of feel. This is the Konami Code cover of this. And if you notice, the kind of stuff I do often is a little bit more along the lines of musical
Check T.
theater.
Lopez's version.
I'm sorry?
Check T. Lopez's version.
Okay, I'll do that. Anyway, so the thing is, it's not a diss to Sonic as a franchise. It's just like, I haven't gotten around to it. Like, I could probably
You just don't have any motivation to do it.
Right. And the thing is, when people go, like, writing something that I actually don't care about is a really quick way to have everybody go, it seems like you shouldn't care about this one. Like, people can see through that so easily. And I'd rather have a song people don't like that much that I love than one that I'm like, this sucks. Every bit of working on this sucks. And everyone's like, yay! Because that's kind of like,
You're catering to the fans.
yeah, like there's a fine line between pandering and, anyway, I'll probably do a Sonic song at some point, but
not right now.
There's no, like, it's not like, yeah, Sonic, he punched my sister once. Like, it's not a specific reason other than I have a docket full of things that are not that I really want to do first, like Earthbound, Ken's theme from Street Fighter. I'm thinking about doing an EP, for the first time ever, doing an EP of mostly new stuff before the videos come out, instead of songs that are reimaginings of the video. So who knows? Sonic probably won't end up on there, but I don't know, Casino Night, or Casino, is that what it's called?
Yeah, Casino Night.
There you go. Yeah.
Casino Night Zone!
You're too slow.
Whoa! I'm no longer the center of attention. Okay, you in the classes hit me.
Okay, first off, when you released like the musical stuff on your page, I just want to say that was pretty awesome.
Oh, thank you.
And the DuckTales thing that you did today, that was also really awesome.
Thanks a lot.
That stuff's really awesome.
Appreciate it.
I was wondering, are you interested in doing like any like musical stuff? Like, are you gonna end up doing something like how you were gonna do like the rock ballad thing?
I need you to refine your question.
Sorry. Are you going to like be doing musical stuff? Like, have you?
You mean musical theater stuff?
Yeah, like combination of kind of your work. Not saying songs that you've already done, but I kind of see like you went to school like for like music and stuff. So I wasn't sure if you're going to be revisiting that at some point.
Well, I kind of revisit that all the time. And I know I'm being slippery, definitely on purpose. But, you know, writing narratives that require music and lyrics is kind of like the bread and butter of Brentalfloss. It's just less about overarching stories. The question of will I work on a musical? Maybe. Here's what really is hard about the fact that I thought I was going to write the next Broadway show and then kind of became Brentalfloss. Broadway shows, this is a real statistic. The average amount of time that a Broadway show takes from first putting pen to paper to opening on Broadway is 8 years.
Wow.
The average amount of time it takes me to make a with lyrics video is 4 weeks. From first idea to finished video. It's so hard to work on something hoping that it will be fresh and interesting and good 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 years from now. Like Book of Mormon, you know, it's sort of timeless because it's about a thing that's been around for a long time. It's going to be around for a long time. But like, anyway, I'm waxing here. The point is that will I be doing musical stuff? I have ideas sometimes. They don't always come to fruition because I go, this is a great idea. Is it an 8-year idea? I had an idea recently. Some of you know I love politics, which gets me in lots of trouble. But I had this idea. Everyone's got a conservative uncle or somebody in their life who has the most outlandish conspiracy theories, the ones that are really like too hot for MSNBC, like the ones like, you know, chemtrails and, you know, they're putting fluoride in the water to keep us dumb. Like, the point, and like, you know, Obama's a gay, Muslim, anti-Christian, antichrist, alien from space. That kind of stuff. I thought it'd be funny to do a musical where the gag of the show is that your conservative uncle is completely correct. Everything he's ever postulated turns out to be totally true. Like, Obama is in fact gay, Muslim, alien, like Antichrist, all these, like, you know, can you imagine like a gay Muslim Obama number? That'd be so amazing. Like, just, you know, some kind of cross-dressing thing with some kind of turban or hat. I don't know what they wear. But the point is that that's not an 8-year idea. So I was like, for about a week going, yeah, the characters would be named this, and this would be the thing. And then I went, man, I should just be working on a video. I need to pay the rent. And once you've, like right now, this is kind of maybe TMI, but I'm living what I would call a fairly comfortable existence. Not rich, but not starving and eating like toast and eggs and nothing else. Know what I'm saying? So to go back to that would be really hard, and dropping everything to work on a musical nonstop for years and years would be tough. So it's not, I'm not saying no, what I am saying is it an 8-year idea? Is it even a 5-year idea? That's the filter that an idea for a live show or full-length musical project would have to kind of like pass through in order for me to do it. Good question, thanks for letting me ramble through that whole thing. Heavy.
Last year.
And by the way, if you don't know, that's a character from a game. I was not calling this man Heavy. You're quite attractive. I like your haircut.
Last year on Facebook, you posted something about somebody else having the same username as you. What did you think about all that?
I think that it was a mistake for me to ever bring it up. Because it's not, here's the thing, if there is a guy, this dude who goes by Brentalfloss, he's a douchebag. And I don't mean a bro douchebag, I mean just someone who I, in so many ways, disagree with. His style, the people he goes after, the kind of guy that takes a picture of Rosie O'Donnell and like photoshops it onto Shrek because it's funny that people are lesbians, ha ha ha. And I'm like politically on the inside going, this guy's kind of a prick. I really don't want anyone Googling Brentalfloss and finding this asshole. I should have just left it there and gone, hey, you know, he's like the 18th thing down on Google when you search Brentalfloss. I should just let it go. Instead, being mad at him for being a prick and for not responding to me going, hey man, maybe you could differentiate yourself a little more. And he was like, no. I was like, okay, you know, this means war. It was totally dumb, it was totally impulsive. But I was like, hey, everybody should, I basically said the light version, did dubstep just happen in other words? Can we just drop the bass?
No. Oh my God!
Either that or somebody's extremely hungry. All right, so,
it's Keith's concert up there.
that must be it. I'm sad to miss that, but the fact that you guys are here and not there is extremely flattering. The point is, I am imperfect and sometimes extremely impulsive, and I have this habit on YouTube that is sort of a confession where I will put the most scathing, I'm telling you, like mean response to someone saying something dumb and take it down after 5 minutes because I don't really want a lot of people seeing that and going, God, that was a little far. But I'll do it because in the moment I'll be like, listen, you little jerk, but really it's because I'm having a bad day on that particular day. You know what I mean? Like it has nothing to do with them. So I mess up sometimes. The short answer to your question is, I went too far. It was kind of a douche move on my part, and I should have just left him the only douche in the situation. So, follow up?
Yeah. I can say you are the real Brentalfloss whether you or him showed up first. I remember reading his.
Well, thank you.
I was
gonna say you were the guy.
I'd like to think I stuck a flag in that.
You did something with him, and he's got like only 20 followers on this.
Yeah, but I mean, yeah. The lesson is, in the future, I really need to think about, will this make me look like a huge jerk before I do stuff more often? Front row, hit me.
We saw the Tommy Tellerico traveling show.
Oh, yeah, Video Games Live, yeah.
And wondered if you ever crossed paths with him musically.
Let's see, do I have, I don't have internet access, but I actually have guested as part of Video Games Live twice in Jersey and Long Island City, or rather Long Island. You were there, awesome. Yeah, I got to play a song of mine called the Tutu Blues. Quick grandpa story. I was asked to play the Tutu Blues. Really what I wanted to do was have some musical theater friend of mine in New York, like, do an arrangement of one of my, with lyrics, you know, but it's hard because they're generally not G-rated. And it's just like, you know, that's a very family-friendly show. So we ended up just having me, this was the scariest, one of the scariest moments of my life. Like, I'm not a trained musician. I never took lessons in playing piano. It's all by ear. My only composition stuff was like 10 years into composing, 1 semester in college. And the point is, when you are playing a grand piano, 9-foot Steinway, in the middle of 80 amazing, trained, important symphonic performers and another 30 choir members behind them, it can make you pee steam, you're so nervous. and yes, so I did play with them. I'd like to play with the whole orchestra, but it also scares the crap out of me. But yeah, I did. And Tommy's a great guy. Laura, who does Flute Link, is great. And actually a member of the Megas, I don't know if you guys are familiar, but a member of the Megas either was or still is touring with them as like a backstage kind of, you know, like a showrunner. So long story short, I love video games live. I like the people involved with it, and they're an awesome organization. In the back, holding your hand like this for some reason. Kind of like, come at me, bro. I don't know. Anyway, go.
One of my favorite songs you have is the video game Teenies.
Thank you.
Teenies.
Tinies. I'm just going to Tinies, but it's cool. It's okay.
What inspired that? Like, I've seen the original one, and it's like dark. What inspired you to make that a song?
Honestly, I'm going to work backwards. The desire to sell the poster. I hate to sound like a jerk, but here's how it went. My webcomic co-writer Dan said, I've got this great idea, the game over Tinies. And I was like, I don't know what that means. And he was like the Gashly Grum Tinies? And I was like, is that English? And he was like, no, look. And he showed me the book of all the different, you know, the alphabet book. And I was like, okay. And he's like, we do them with video games and people will love it. And I'm like, okay. And they did. And I went, okay, we have this poster. Way less people read the comic than watch the videos. How do I make this a thing? Like, how do I make a thing out of this? And unfortunately, sometimes that is what goes, like, you know, there's no grand inspiration. I don't go up to the top of a mountain and come down with a song on a tablet. It's more like, I really want to do something with this. And when I thought about the fact that I've always wanted to do kind of a spooky Danny Elfman sounding thing, it really like kind of locked in place. And I went, okay, this is a style of music I want to do. I'd like to make a video out of it. And if I'm going to make a video, it should be a music video. So let's do a song. And it fell into place. So the inspiration was the fact that Dan had an idea. I went, okay, and then he turned out to be totally right. So I can't take the credit for that one.
I have read just about all the comic. It's really good.
Thank you. Appreciate that. Which parts have you not read? I'm just kidding. It was funny that you said almost. The piece John Lennon hand in the back. There you go. I can't see your face, so I have to judge you by your hands.
What made you start to make music the way you did? Like, what inspired you?
I get questions like this a lot, and I never know how to answer them. Like, why do birds fly, you know? Not that I can fly. Why do birds poop on shit? That's what I really do. What makes some people good at math, you know? What makes some people not like chocolate? The first time I did anything with music, I was 7 years old, or 8, somewhere in there. The movie My Girl, Macaulay Culkin. Maybe it was My Girl 2. The point is that My Girl by The Temptations was the song in the preview on TV. My sister had a 1.5 octave toy piano. And I just had, I guess you'd say, stuck in my head. And I went to her room and just went, bing, 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 bing. And I was hooked immediately. And nobody said, Brent, you ought to play an instrument. And I don't know why it happened. But once I did that, it was like, then I was learning songs from Back to the Future. I was learning songs from like Nintendo. Then I got my own keyboard. And what inspired me to write music in the way that I do? Stuff I like, I guess, from my past. Dr. Demento, Adam Sandler, Weird Al Yankovic, but also lots of musical theater. Very different stuff, you know? Over here you've got Adam Sandler doing like really dirty songs I don't even want to repeat the names of on his original album before he became like a whatever he's doing now. By the way, don't ever let me turn into that. Complain loudly if I ever do that. But then you've got like, you know, stuff like Little Shop of Horrors, Phantom of the Opera, Les Mis, and that stuff's in my blood. And as much as I want to be like, yeah, I'm cool, I'm Brentalfloss, I'm awesome, you guys, I know every word of Phantom, backwards and forwards. I know every word to Little Shop. Yes, the saddest claps. Like, no, I'm not asking you to cry. It was more than, It's almost like a few people discovered they could put their hands together for the first time near the same time. So, you know, what inspired me, the thing is pretty soon after, hey dude, I'm answering your question. Okay, cool, yeah. He turned to talk to a friend. I'm still talking to you, there we go. It's not for my own pleasure, it turns out. To fully answer your question, and this apropos of what I just did, I think that once I realized I could get attention with music, that was the key. Because if I need anything in this world, like yes, water, food, but attention is really important. So anyway, good question, thank you. Metroid Hat.
Yeah. What do you think of Capcom making that new DuckTales game?
So this is tricky, right? Because I'm in communications with the people making this game. So I better say something nice.
You'll get hurt.
Some shadowy figure with a top hat and a cane, put some kind of like bandito bandana. Nancy Kerrigan style. Thank you, 8 of you, for getting that. Say again?
Does the laser pointer to your head?
Yes, that I do not want. So here's the thing, I have high hopes for DuckTales HD, DuckTales Remastered, whatever. I also think that sometimes it's maybe unnecessary to go back and make a game that's already good HD. Kind of like Psycho was a pretty good movie. It's not a better movie just because they did it with Vince Vaughn and NH. So here's what I'll say. Apparently they've added some levels that weren't in the original. They've changed around some of the justifications for why certain things happen.
What about cutscenes?
I don't know, maybe cutscenes as well. I haven't actually, the thing is I haven't actually looked into it deeply because as a kid, the DuckTales game pissed me off because it was way too hard when it came out. I was 6 or 7. It was really hard and I gave up. But I remembered that moon theme. And as an adult went, oh yeah, that moon theme's so good. And then Crazy Duck in Space was born. But I have high hopes that it's going to be a really exciting experience. But I'm not going to lie and pretend that I think that's a guaranteed thing. Earthworm Jim HD, have you guys played it? Me neither, who would do that? You've already got it, it's already done. Anyway, so I really hope it's good, and I also really hope that they take the song that I wrote and put it on their blog. So, but yeah, good question, front row.
I know you had that liquidation sale before you moved a while back, and you got trolled by the guy online with the thing. You got your sweet revenge on the phone, but how have it, after that all went down, how have things been, for yourself after that? Did the sale go well? Everything's good now?
Are you asking how I'm doing financially?
No,
It's a fair question. I'm just trying to figure out what you're getting.
No, I'm not going to impose on your salary or anything, but no, just
Salary. Well, I just gave myself a promotion. I'm now head Brentalfloss. I worked my way up from shift manager Brentalfloss. What are you? I'm sorry. What are you trying to?
I know you were having some troubles there, but now that
Right.
you moved and you're out, is everything on the up and up where you are now currently residing?
Yeah. I mean, there's a light in the hallway that doesn't work even if we replace the bulb. So that sucks. I get hangnails sometimes. This is weird. This is a weird question. No. I like it. I'm just trying to figure out what the spectrum of answer could be. Dude.
I made a mistake. I should have stayed where I was living. Or no.
Oh, you're asking if it was a good idea to move?
Yeah,
Well, I moved in with my girlfriend, so yeah. Yeah. And I don't mind telling you, we are dancing around the M word delicately, because I am really afraid of newborn? The M word. Newborn. We're having a Pokemon cat. No. Well, here's what really kind of tipped the scales and made me think maybe, first off, we watch Bridezillas all the time, which really tells me how cool she is, because she's always like, these bitches. And I'm like, I love you. But we realized that we would both want a honeymoon in Disney World. And it was like, you too? Oh my God, I thought I was the only, I thought you would want Paris. Well, I thought you would want Vegas. Anyway, we both want to go to Disney. So, anyway, was the move good? Yes. Are there things that are a pain in the ass about living where I live? Totally. And right now it's like, do I want to do the family kids dog thing in New York City. But when you work on the internet, you could, as long as there's a broadband connection, you could be in Alaska if you want. It doesn't really matter. She's not tied to New York City. So like right now there's this question of like, where would the best place be to start a family? Also, am I gonna miss New York a lot? Because it's the center of the freaking universe. Will I be happy being in a place where, I mean, all hipsters are kind of posers, but when I see hipsters outside New York City, I'm like, yeah, people. Yeah, hipsters. Knock off. You know, anyway, like, stuff like that. Like, I go home to Texas, where people still say winning like it's a valid joke to make. And I'm like, that was over a year and a half ago. Do you think you can still say winning? And I gotta get out of here. So like, New York changes you. Makes you kind of the strange culture snob in a way. Anyway, it was a long tangent. The point is, I'm happy where I'm living and my girlfriend and I are very much in love. Next question. You, sir.
This is, you probably get this a million times, but where does the floss and Brentalfloss come from?
Dental floss?
I really want to. I've waited too long to have like the snappy but dirty answer. Where does the floss come from? You know, in 2004, I just thought immediately of a dog eating a roll of dental floss, and where it comes from in that situation, I was like, yeah, just pull. No, I just wanted a screen name in 2004 that reflected my corny, punny self. And it could have been Brental Park, it could have been Brenter of Attention, but it was Brentalfloss. And so it wasn't like, I really would love it if it was like, that was my nickname growing up. No. My nickname, I swear to God, was Bushhead. I'm trying to find somebody who's got a comparable head of hair. Actually, if your hair were a little bit longer, a little bit thicker, that's the kind of, stand up real quick. This guy is really great with the Mad Libs, by the way. Stand up, please. This was my hair in 6th grade, a little bit longer, and they called me Bushhead. You do not have a bush head, it was bigger. Yes, all right, now sit down. Okay. Jeez, you give him one bit of the spotlight. Well done, sir. Point is, yeah, Brentalfloss is not a terribly interesting origin story of a name, but thank you. Mega Man.
Well, number one, I'm doing Little Shop of Horrors this summer.
Great.
And number two, we have this cabaret at our high school, and I really want to do Tutu Blues. But there's no like background track for it. So are you gonna release like bits of me without the lyrics?
Sure, eventually. When is your thing?
Like in the winter.
Yeah, maybe. I'm working on the G-rated right now, and the G-rated kind of goes hand in hand with the karaoke. But there's this very interesting situation going on with my sound engineer. He is actually being pulled apart by two armies. He works for the U.S. Army. He works at West Point. He's a staff sergeant, sound engineer. No kidding, you get to be a staff sergeant if you're the guy who records and edits the songs of the West Point band. So he's got a pretty sweet gig. But they really, you know, it's also like a 60, 70 an hour a week kind of gig. So he's like, he decided to get out. And now he is, he's got a new job with the Salvation Army. Not a joke. But the Army, you have to wait till they'll discharge you. So he's fully working for the Salvation Army, writing music and editing sound for them, for videos, all this stuff. And currently also working long hours for the Army. And because of that, it's very hard to get him to, this is why the VV song has no official MP3, same with the Chocobo song. Long story short, I really want to make the G-rated album really fast, and with that will come the karaoke one. But there will be delays because, just right now, the long and short of it is, I can't mix and master stuff to make it sound as good as people expect at this point. And, you know, so there will be some delays. But with that, I want to show you guys something. I think I'm going to actually unplug the thing. I'm pretty excited about this. Let me see if I can find the song I actually want to use. Real quick. Great. So I've recently finished the entirety of the Bits of G lyrics, which are the G-rated, family-friendly versions of the Bits of Me lyrics. It was tougher than what if the CD had lyrics because there were some darker, meaner, and/or otherwise tricky to family eyes songs, right? The truth about Toad has become from the perspective of a very dumb person who is pretty sure that Toad is not in fact a toad. The Mega Man 3 Game Over is now like an over-encouraging, creepily encouraging song. But one of my favorites that I like so much that even if you don't laugh, I still will enjoy it, and that's really, that's one of those rare instances. Hold on, let me see. So, Beerix, right? Final Fantasy VI with Beerix. I thought about it and I was like, I don't really want to do a straight-faced Final Fantasy VI with lyrics just because it's just so like, da-da-da, you know what I mean? Like just very, I didn't want to do the research. I've never actually beaten 6. I like 4 better, I like 9 better. Thank you, one guy. His arm fell asleep. So I'm like, how do I make Beerix G-rated? Beer is inherently not G-rated. At least, maybe in Germany, but, in America. So I was like, what's equally dumb? What's just as stupid, dumb, random as Beerix to make this G-rated? So I'm gonna let you guess what kind of lyrics these are. Maybe by the end, it'll make sense. It's a sunny day, and I'm grazing, getting sleepy now, eyes are glazing, Final Fantasy is amazing, but not here, 'cause I'm a deer. Yeah, I'm gonna prance around, I'm on the ball now. Wait, there's people here. I'm in a mall. Wow! Silly people think that I'm a small cow. I'm not a steer. Nope. I'm a deer. Watching Bambi now. Yes, it's a classic. Wait a minute there. Something happened. Now you make me cry, little Bambi. I shed a tear, 'cause I'm a deer. Anyway, Final Fantasy VI with Beerix. I love it. And if you don't, that's fine. But Beerix are so dumb. And while there have been a few songs you could attribute to Beerix, or at least being under some kind of influence since that came out, the idea of Beerix I think is kind of done. I've tried to bring it back a few times, but to me, Beerix, man, it's just, anyway. Chef, hit me, but make it a question.
Okay, what do you think of a Mega Man cartoon?
You mean like the one from the 90s?
Yes,
What do I think about that one or about A1 now?
the Ruby Spheres cartoon.
The one with the super fighting robot.
Yeah, the one with Scott McNeil and Scott Wiley.
Right. I think that it was, like lots of cartoons made for kids, really cool when I was 10. It's kind of like when I go back and watch the Ninja Turtles now, like the 1987 Ninja Turtles. It's bad, y'all. I'm sorry. It is rough. It is rough going, but at the time, I loved it. So what do I think about it? My main thought is, when did they decide Mega Man's arm cannon becomes a hand after? Like, it's kind of a cool idea, but I just always assumed he was like tying his shoe with his teeth, Anyway, that's my answer. You, sir.
Another theater geek. Have you ever heard of the biggest big flop, Carrie the Musical?
Carrie the Musical.
Yeah.
Do I have any tracks on here? I might.
Ben Buckley has saying English Week is the best one.
This is from Carrie the Musical, and it's the only one good song in the show. What a bad idea for a musical. But yeah, Don't Waste the Moon. Great song. Dumb show. Yeah. Was that your question?
No, I'm just saying if you ever heard of it.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. Cool. Luigi hat.
Well, for one thing, I was at the concert. I am not 14.
I remember you.
I'm not 14, I'm 17.
Did I say 14?
Yes.
Oh, I'm sorry.
It's okay.
I'm such a bad judge of age. The older I get, the worse that gets. I get like, if I'm on a college campus, I'm like, what are all these children doing here? They're not children, you're old.
They're
And I
striking.
also play piano by ear and I can't do lessons for some reason.
Okay, well that's fine, neither could John Lennon.
Really?
Yeah.
Alright, but my question is, since you're a Mega Man fan, what would be your favorite power-up to get in Mega Man ever?
Ooh, rough question.
My favorite power-up. Okay, I'm gonna break it down into two categories. Functionality, Metal Blade. But, cool factor? That's tough. I mean, making snakes just suddenly appear and run around is pretty cool. Like, as far as an effective thing, it's not just a weapon, it's also a great way to like clear a path. Like, it's so crowded in this mall. Snakes, like, I just walk over, it's fine. It's easier for me to do the least favorite. Like, bubbles are obviously pretty dumb. Leaf shield. Like, I don't really feel like having a spinning barrier of leaves around me is going to help much when robots are shooting like bullet-like objects at me. Then again, being a robot made of wood is kind of dumb on its face. So, but yeah, I'll go ahead and go right now with Snake Search.
Okay.
Yeah, Brentalfloss shirt. Nicely done. Hang on to that, it's a collector's item now. Those shirts, thank you for wearing it. It's kind of ugly, but it looks good on you. I designed it, that's how I know. Go ahead.
So you're saying that, like the Mega Man cartoon and Ninja Turtles, there are cartoons that you grew watching of that aren't good now. Are there any that you still think are good now?
Animaniacs. Because Animaniacs didn't talk down to the audience. And this is a problem I have where I go, okay, I obviously have an audience that has lots of kids in it. What do I do? Should I do Mr. Rogers? Should I really tone it down? But it's like, when I was like 11 or 12, I was watching stuff like Beavis and Butthead. But I was also watching Animaniacs. And Animaniacs was family friendly, but they were making jokes that even if I didn't get them in my little brain, I knew there was something about them that was more advanced than what I understood. And I liked that. As opposed to a cartoon that kind of talks down to you. And I feel like actually lots of cartoons today are better about being fun for the whole family and not just tolerable for the whole family.
Really?
Like Fairly Odd Parents, I feel like is actually pretty funny at any age. SpongeBob I got into 10 years late. Because when it came out I was 16, so way too cool for SpongeBob when I was 16. Then at 28 I'm like, this is amazing. Who knew?
Amen!
But I think that Animaniacs for sure is the number one. Maybe followed by like Tiny Toons or stuff like that. I see a hand, the one connected to you, yeah.
You were saying that one of your things you wanted to do was Earthbound. What's your favorite track in that game and why Earthbound?
Do you want to hear a little bit of Earthbound with nerds? Oh man, this is extremely rough. By that I mean the instrumentation is wrong, the tempos might change, and I'm going to cut it off abruptly because it's not done. But yeah, this is happening soon. Let's see. What? No, that's the one with words on it. I would rather sing it live. Let's try this. There we go. Okay, gonna real quick find the lyrics. This is so new. I actually never beat Earthbound until recently. Because let's be honest, man, that game takes forever.
Do not play the final boss.
Well, I'll be honest with you, I got to the final boss and Paula died, and I knew that I'd have to like use the prayer thing, spoilers, and I went, okay, so I've gotten to the final boss, and I know how to beat the boss. It's just gonna take me another hour or two to go back through the whole gauntlet to get to the boss, and that sucks, and I'm an adult. I'm not 10, and this is not my summer vacation. So I just watched the ending on YouTube. I mean, sorry, like, sue me. Earthbound, Doc. So yeah, this is basically probably gonna change. You guys are the first audience to hear this. So, all right, it's kind of a tongue twister. Here we go. All right, gather around, let's play Earthbound, the best game ever made. It's a sequel to some other game that I bet you never played. One night a glowing meteor comes down from outer space. There's a kid named Nesson, wouldn't you guess he's gonna save the human race. So he gives his mom a kiss, and with a family like this, it's no wonder that he goes it alone. Oh, I mean his little baby sis runs a courier service, and yes, his father is a telephone. You can call me Dad. This title shines. It's sharp and funny yet creepy. It leads to lines like poo needs water for pee-pee. But hey, that's Earthbound. That's why we love it. So if you don't like it, feel free to shove it. Ness has a quest to fix the things that are wrong with Americans, like religious weirdos, mindless zombies, and illegal aliens. Oh, a psychic girl, a science nerd, and a ninja join the crew, taming animals by hitting them, because that's what heroes do. It's a crazy universe where a rookie front desk nurse can reanimate your slaughtered friends. Oh, where you buy some farm fresh eggs and in 5 minutes they have legs, because now they're freaking full-grown hens. Yeah, sing it, chickens. And that is Earthbound. That's why we love it. So if you don't like it, feel free to shove it. Anyway, so that's all I have so far. It's getting there. It's gonna be kind of like Zelda 2 with lyrics in that it spans a lot of themes and a lot of game, because the game has so much story. And instead of it being like one of those videos I do where the overarching joke is a concept, like what if an Irish punk rock singer sang about chocobos? Or isn't it funny that girls like Tetris? Like, instead of that, it's more like, I'm gonna tell the story of it. And by the way, those of you that don't know about Earthbound, the illegal aliens thing is a joke, because there's aliens in the, anyway. So, yeah, and I'm gonna do a little bit about the fact that for some reason this like 10-year-old kid has an ATM account with like $80,000 in it. And instead of hating like a third world country, he's gonna buy a baseball bat to fight robots. Like, this is an interesting, anyway, that was Earthbound lyrics. Did that answer whose ever question it was? Okay, great. That person is disappeared into thin air. Oh, it's you. Sorry. I answer a lot of questions, and it's hard to remember whose is whose. Glad you're still here. Glad you're still with us. You, sir.
You were talking about musicals earlier.
Yes.
I'm just curious to know, what would be your favorite musical of all time?
You know, the funny thing about favorites as you get older is favorite per time. I thought Final Fantasy IV was my favorite game because it was the one that affected me most as a kid. And I went back and played it at 27 and went, this script is really dumb. Why does Sid leave here? Nobody else can leave. Why does he get to? That was just really clumsy. So in the same way, Little Shop probably had the biggest influence on me. Do I think it's the greatest piece of American theater? No. But it's still my favorite because it affected me in an emotional kind of way at a time that was very seminal, you know? So, anyway, good question. We have 13 minutes left, so I'm gonna keep it rolling. Olive green shirt, hit me.
Too many questions.
I like that you check. I guess it's not olive green, it's more of a, anyway, go.
One, what's your favorite with lyrics that you've done? And two, have you seen the director's cut ending of Little Shop of Horrors?
I have seen the director's cut ending of Little Shop of Horrors. It works better on stage, but you know, I don't really even think that movie was actually a great property to be a movie. It was okay, but it had cult written all over it. For my money, it's like, I guess that's cool to do cult stuff, but like, I don't know. Like, I don't think I'd ever be the kind of person that would write a Little Shop of Horrors or a Rocky Horror Picture Show or anything with the word horror in it. Apparently. But what was your other question?
What's your favorite with lyrics, video?
My favorite with lyrics, video. Among the contenders are Zelda 2, Castlevania 2, Mario Paint. Just because Mario Paint could have been the one that, like, I could have died the day after the Mario Paint one came out. It would have been like, I've done my thing. You know what I mean? Like, it kind of recapped the whole thing, because I'm telling you guys, Mario Paint is the reason I am here. I recently gotten into After Effects animation. Extremely primitive After Effects animation, but without a sense of how animation works for Mario Paint, without a sense of how you combine music and video, and images that I learned in Mario Paint, none of this stuff would happen. So in that way, Mario Paint is very close to me. The video, it's okay. But yeah, I would say either Zelda 2 or Castlevania 2, but I really hope that the one that's going to end up being my favorite ever hasn't been made yet. So, stay tuned. Mega Man. And you can think, I'm guessing that's your dad, for pointing to you, like, just so in case I didn't see you, like, he was waving me like they do in the planes, like this guy right here. Well done. Caught my attention.
A lot of YouTubers have had games made about them, like like Angry Video Game Nerd, Tobuscus, Smosh. So,
Right.
do you ever plan on doing something like that?
Yeah, if I could make a good one.
Or like hire someone to make one?
Here's the thing. I'm not going to say I've never participated in vanity projects, but to make a crappy, no offense to any of those people, but to make a crappy game that's not any better than any other games on the market, that's only being sold because people want to play as you in a side scroller they could have made 20 years ago, I hate to be a downer, but it's like, I have really huge plans to make video games, but they don't have anything to do with me. Just because, I don't know, the Angry Video Game Nerd is a really specific character. Who is Brentalfloss? I have no idea. And that's part of why I'm breaking off to do a second channel soon. So that Brentalfloss can finally cool to a sort of stasis of, Brentalfloss is the clownish, usually funny video game nerd comedy guy. And over here is all the other stuff I want to do. So I'm not, you know what I mean? And it's not that one is better than the other, it's just that like, if people really want you to be this thing over here, that the Brentalfloss thing, and everyone's got a different interpretation of what it is, the way that like, I really like the Ninja Turtles from 1987, so I'm a Turtles fan. But if somebody who's a really big Turtles fan from the 2004 series watches mine and goes, this isn't the Turtles, this isn't what I signed up for, and then some kid that's only watched the Nickelodeon one from now goes, this is weird, these aren't the Turtles. Everybody has these weird different versions of what they think Brentalfloss is. You can tell whenever people put comments like, man, your videos have really gone downhill since 2008. It's like, 5 years ago? Like, you know, everyone's got their interpretation, so it's a good question. And it's an absolutely valid question. I want to make a video game that's a musical. I want to make an RPG that instead of cutscenes, breaks into song. A character like Kefka getting a song like, oh, Poor Unfortunate Souls from Little Mermaid. A character like, yeah, you laugh, but you remember that song. You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Like, you know, if you're at the after party and I've had a few drinks, maybe you can get Poor Unfortunate Souls out of me. I'm not quite ready to come out of that closet in front of people that have cameras, but thanks. Yeah, I'm gonna sing the Ursula song at a video game convention. Come on.
Brent, you're gonna be in the unofficial Screw Attack game.
I am?
Yeah.
Cool.
I was on it.
Okay. The thing is, yeah, like, I mean, the thing is, I do want to make video games one day. And I feel like a video game musical, or a musical video game, is something that never has been really nailed, because video game developers and designers, this is not an insult, I don't think that they have the part of the brain that knows, well, let me back up. You know how there's never been a great comic book musical, and even Spider-Man still kind of sucks? They made a Superman one in the 60s that bombed. It's like the parts of your brain that comic books take up are a different part of the brain than the place a musical can take you, right? And so, in the same way, I feel like most people that are really good at designing and developing games and telling stories like that don't actually know how to write songs or how to put them in things. And I want to make a game where people are like, not only singing along, but I come to a con and like nerds are dressing up like the characters and putting on the show and buying the soundtrack more than they're buying the game. You know what I'm saying? So do I want to make a video game? Yes. About Brentalfloss? No. All right, glasses in the teal Jaws shirt. Hit me.
You mentioned songs from movies before, like Back to the Future.
Yes. Hold on, I'm going to make this conversation seem really urgent and interesting. Hold on, just a minute. Okay. Go on. You were saying?
What's your favorite song? What's your favorite song from a movie? From a musical or it could be a score?
Song from a movie?
Yeah.
Oh, man, you win.
Can you narrow it down? You mean instrumental score piece or like song with music and lyrics? Don't say either.
Musical score.
Oh, that's a really good one. Gosh, I would say my favorite piece of movie background scoring, a close second, starting with second, just like they do on America's Funniest Home Videos. The second would be da 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 da. And for one measure of that song, da ba 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 ba. Star Wars, Jedi theme, Luke's theme, whatever it is, I love it. But my favorite is the ending titles from Independence Day. I freaking love this tune. You bet your ass I can jog like a mofo to this tune. It makes me feel like basically everybody else's life is way less important than mine at this very moment. Got to run down the freaking sidewalk. Anyway, yeah, good question. I could probably do, are you guys in the next panel? So how much time I know these guys. How's it going, y'all? Honestly, how many minutes should I like get out of here right at the dot, or like 2 or 3 minutes before?
Up to you, man.
Okay, I don't want to be that guy. So just really, your job, not these guys, but your job is to be a jerk when it's time. Seriously, don't let me be that guy. You in the back, I see you. Hello.
What's your favorite video game franchise?
Oh, great question. And hard. You know, I guess the thing is, can I say Final Fantasy and really have only played a few of them? Is that okay? I don't think it is.
Yeah.
I've really only loved 4 and 1, and kind of 6 and kind of 9. So it's like, I don't know that it's fair for me to be like, yes, I love. Oh, actually, I played 3 too, like the Famicom 3, and it was okay. So I don't know if I can say that one, but when I think about any other franchise, I don't know any other franchise that I'm really excited to continue. You look at the Chrono Trigger, Chrono Cross. That could have been a franchise. I don't know what they did.
If they made another Chrono game, then it probably would have become a franchise.
Right. And that imaginary franchise is actually the answer to your question. The imaginary Chrono franchise is like what would be my favorite. But I guess I'll say Final Fantasy. You know what? Actually, see, that's the thing. Zelda. I could say Zelda, but I don't actually like Ocarina. Blasphemy, I know. Sorry. I didn't play Wind Waker. I didn't play any of them since Ocarina. So I mean, like, I'm just a big poser. Is really the answer. I think Final Fantasy. I'm gonna say. You follow up?
For Zelda, you should really play Wind Waker.
That's what I hear, and I think that I might go ahead and play it in time for the HD to come out.
Yeah.
But I also am, this is top secret, but I'm working on a collaborative with Lyrics about Ocarina of Time. The reason being, if I don't like the game as much as everybody else, at least somebody in the video should really like it so I don't look like a big jerk. So that I can be like the villain of the video and not like a jerk. Anyway, I've got time for a couple more lightning round. Who honestly have I not called on yet? Just so I do, go for it.
How old were you when you started to go bald?
Well, I knew about it when I was 16, but friends said they noticed when I was 15. And it really sucked, but I think losing my hair really helped me not be more full of myself. I think it knocked me down at a couple pegs at the perfect time. Because, I mean, I was just like really, I thought that I was really cool in high school, and then just things change when you start to lose your hair. And I feel like in retrospect, while it sucked, I feel like aging's not that scary to me at this point because I've kind of been through this part of it. I'm kind of gonna look, if I keep this, haircut and facial hair, I could look basically like this with a little bit of extra wrinkles and sag forever. The way that Pee Wee Herman basically is a slightly, left underwater and bloated up a little bit version of the guy he's been for years. Anyway, we'll see. I'm gonna take one more and then let these people who I like go. Wayne's World hat.
Yeah, I'm just out of curiosity. Who's your favorite video game hero and who's your favorite video game villain?
My favorite video game villain is... Thanks for the hints, front row. Let me start with hero. My favorite video game hero is Cecil, or Cecil from Final Fantasy IV. Because instead of being a constant, instead of being like, I am this character all the time, I am Mario, and the only adversity I face is watching my girlfriend get captured before I save her again. Cecil is like a conflicted character. He starts out as Batman and ends up as Paladin Batman. Favorite villain? Matt, what's your favorite villain? See, it is hard. Okay, I just wanted somebody else to take the pressure off me.
I'm gonna have to go with Dr. Wily.
Ooh, that's a good one. It's not mine. I really wanted you to like somehow come to my aid and be like, yeah, you know what? I'm gonna say Mother Brain because she's so freaking scary. And you don't even know why she wants what she wants. How is she a pirate and can't get out of this tube? Anyway, that's my answer. Thank you so much for coming to my panel. Stick around for the next one. Highly recommended. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to go to the bathroom and then go straight back to my booth. So if you weren't able to get, an autograph or a CD or whatever at the booth earlier, come there now, and I'll be there in about 5 minutes. Thanks, everybody.